Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say welcome to another edition of the program, The Bottom Line. The Bottom Line comes your way every Tuesday and Wednesday, and we discuss issues about Liberia and Liberians. Um, Tonight, we're going to be having a very interesting discussion, but my panelists will be joining me. Andre Jallo is expected to join me later on, and perhaps I will have Jamel Kamara coming in. So it's going to be very interesting this evening, as I can show you. And today is the 8th of February 2022, meaning that we are inching on 2023. And you all know the biggest event in 2023, and that's the elections to elect president, vice president. Of course, the vice president falls under the president. So we'll be electing president, some lawmakers, including representatives and senators. And so we are inching on 2023. That's going to be decisive. But like some people say, the road to 2023 is not going to be an easy one. And so you have a lot of things happening along the road. It's a whole journey. It's a journey that starts with 1 mile or just one step, and we're going to be going further. But like I said, it's a lot of things that will be happening along this journey. And so as we go, there will be men rising, there will be men falling, there will be, what we normally call in a Liberian parlance, calope. Some people will be giving calope, and that is, twisting and turning. And so it's going to be interesting between now and 2023. So tonight we're going to be discussing a press release from the Office of the Solicitor General of Liberia, accusing ANC members in the diaspora, and both at home and in the diaspora, of spreading falsehood. Actually, we'll be dissecting that press release. And as you all know, Mr. Alexander Cummings is facing criminal charges for alleged forgery. And the Solicitor General of Liberia is responsible to prosecute that case. And as things stand right now in a court, from our understanding, the court on behalf of the Solicitor General, or the Solicitor General is through the court asking Mr. Alexander Cummings to produce what they call the original copy of the framework agreement for which he was sued. And so that press release we'll be discussing tonight. So be my guest. But just before we start our discussion, as I said, my panelists will be here pretty soon. Just before we start the discussion, let's play some things about Mr. Cummings and what Mr. Cummings' visions are. Because, Mr. Cummings, like I said, between now and 2023, we are inching on 2023. Today is the 8th of February. We are moving gradually, but sooner or later, you see that 2023 is here. And so Mr. Cummings is one of the contenders in the upcoming elections. And every politician that wants to contest the elections will have their own platform. They want to tell the Liberian people what they want to do. So let me just play something about Mr. Cummings, what he wants to do for Liberia.
My name is Alexander Cummings, and I want to work with honest men and women to change Liberia for the better. I want to open the doors of governance to all capable persons. I want to use the collective brain power of all of our men and women. I want to build a nation of self-sufficiency. I want to build an environment that thrives on and promotes a vibrant Liberian private sector. I want to ensure that we are a nation where education is key in all of our national development priorities. I want to create and nurture a development agenda that ensures our young people have jobs when they graduate from school. I want to create an environment where our women have access to equal opportunities in every aspect of our society. I want to promote a system that uses our country's natural resources for the benefit of all. I want to see our country flourish beyond our wildest imagination. We are capable of doing it if we work together. We may not all agree all of the time, but we can set aside our differences and work towards charting a new course without the infighting, backbiting, and backstabbing. Whether you're a member of the ANC, ALP, LP, or UP, we must channel our support for individual candidates into championing our collective objective, defeating the Weir administration in the 2023 presidential and legislative elections, and ushering in a governance more prepared, more capable, more experienced, more skilled, and more honest men and women. With your help, we can move Liberia to being a better country. I thank you. God bless you and God bless Liberia.
Well, Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, people say Alexander B. Cummings. He's the leader, the political leader, and also the standard bearer of the Alternative National Congress, the ANC, talking about some of the things that he feels he wants to do for Liberia and Liberians. Well, this is what I think Liberians would love to see from other politicians that are in the race, because before you want to lead a country, especially a country like Liberia, very fragile when it comes to the economy, when it comes to peace, you have to lay down your dreams. You have to tell the people. You have to let the people know, the electorates know what you want to do. Okay, you don't come there. You don't come on the platform and say, well, or you don't beat your chest and say, I've been in government for from the time Charlie King was president, and so I'm the person ready to be president because I've been there for long. No, that's not what the presidency is about. The presidency is not about your age. The presidency is not about how long you've been there, or else we'll just put one Charlie Bugo there and he'll be there all the years and we'll do what we want to do. Okay? The presidency is not about how long you've been serving in government. That you started from maybe janitor to secretary, and then you went to office boy, and then from there to minister, and then to vice president. No, that's not the presidency is about. And for people who believe that you have to be in government for all those years before you become president, I think they're thinking the other way around. The presidency is about leadership, genuine leadership. The presidency is about vision. The presidency is about thinking for the country, for the people. Now you got 5 million plus people in Liberia. Okay, so before you want to lead them, you should first of all begin to think for them. What these people want? What is good, or what are the good things for these people? Okay, so you don't come there and tell them, say, because I've been here all the time, I'm the one supposed to be president. And then some people say, oh, I get tired hearing this nonsense all the time, where people say, where was this person? Where was Alexander Cummings during the war? And when the very people that are talking, somebody were on their heels 24 hours running away from the war. But they expect that somebody who also has life left them will come and probably lay down his life for them. Okay? And I don't understand. I don't understand. You got ministers in the government who didn't do anything for you. And some of the people are talking about that they want to be JMB president. I don't want to make this thing about JMB, but this is how it goes, because you got people who promote JMB, they come and badmouth the other candidates, and so it's like if you send your child out to begin to abuse other people will be tempted to also send their children out after you. But you see, Cummings is not this kind of person. I don't know where he comes from. that he would tell his supporters and say, no, do not go after other people who are in the race. When he clearly sees that these people are sending their people after him. Everything that happens in Liberia now is all about Cummings. And this was not like this go back 5 years ago. No. Cummings was Mr. Nobody politically. Cummings did not have a ground. Cummings was, he was absent, totally absent, present but absent. Like they say, you could be present, but you also absent because your presence does not matter. So this was the kind of person Cummings was. Okay, but fast forward down the road, 5 years, Cummings suddenly becomes the subject that somebody writes book. Cummings was supposed to know about that book. Somebody says something, oh yeah, Cummings was supposed to know. Somebody take money, like in the case of Martin Kohler, he was receiving his salary after he resigned from Senator Dillon's office. He was receiving his salary, and that's something that nobody will support anyway. But people say because he's associated with Cummings, that's why you are receiving the salary, and Cummings surround himself with this kind of. Cummings is not supposed to go into every household. I mean, who the hell would believe these kind of things? And they select people, okay? And of course, the word selling is not an abusive word. It's just an adjective that describes the mental behavior of somebody, okay? Now, tell me that Cummings is supposed to sit down and read everybody's heart and read everybody's mind and even imagine what I'm thinking or what I'm going to say on this show tonight. That's the kind of way Liberians think. That Cummings is supposed to, know everything that people who are associated with him do. And this is surprise. But the same people who say these things, they don't also tell us whether Joe Buakai or Daniel Nayure tells them to say or to do what they do. For them, they think for themselves, But Cummings people, oh no, Cummings will have to go in their heart and tell them what to say, what to do. And so, so Cummings has become the talk of the town. And let me tell you, in doing this, you are promoting Alexander Cummings indirectly. How do you do that? You sell him. You tell people that he's the man. You tell people that he is the one. You tell people that he is the man for the game, because you cannot have somebody who is not significant. You cannot have him as a topic. You cannot have somebody who is not significant. He cannot become the topic of your life. That everything that happens must be connected to Cummings. Oh, Cummings surrounding his okay now, but I'll be coming to that later. But let me take a short break. I'll play this Alexander Cummings or stuff again. Let him lay down some of his vision for some of you who have never listened to him, who don't know what he's thinking about Liberia.
My name is Alexander Cummings, and I want to work with honest men and women to change Liberia for the better. I want to open the doors of governance to all capable persons. I want to use the collective brain power of all of our men and women. I want to build a nation of self-sufficiency. I want to build an environment that thrives on and promotes a vibrant Liberian private sector. I want to ensure that we are a nation where education is key in all of our national development priorities. I want to create and nurture a development agenda that ensures our young people have jobs when they graduate from school. I want to create an environment where our women have access to equal opportunities in every aspect of our society. I want to promote a system that uses our country's natural resources for the benefit of all. I want to see our country flourish beyond our wildest imagination. We are capable of doing it if we work together. We may not all agree all of the time, but we can set aside our differences and work towards charting a new course without the infighting, backbiting, and backstabbing. Whether you're a member of the ANC, ALP, LP, or UP, we must channel our support for individual candidates into championing our collective objective, defeating the Weah administration in the 2023 presidential and legislative elections, and ushering in a governance more prepared, more capable, more experienced, more skilled, and more honest men and women. With your help, we can move Liberia to being a better country. I thank you. God bless you and God bless Liberia.
Well, this is the scene where Alexander Cummings has committed in the CPP when he calls on other political parties, other political leaders to come together and let them be honest men and women. How difficult is it to be honest? How difficult? How difficult? I mean, and because honesty has not been the bedrock of Liberian political system. Everybody that goes into government or everybody that enters politics, all they want is to get something, grab something, and when that turn is up, they go. See, and so if anybody comes in there and tries to change the status quo, you become the bitter enemies. You group of people that will come, you become the bitter enemies that you want to change things. Where do you guys come from? That you want to come here and tell us what to do? This is how we do the thing all the time. And you want to come up and tell us that we're not supposed to do it this way. And so this is the sin that Alexander Cummings committed actually in the CPP. And that's why, one thing, God has his own way of doing things. And they don't deny it. They don't deny it. They always say the mayor king, he say hands clean. Oh, so if the mayor say my hands clean, and you want to actually deny that this man's hand is clean, why don't you guys work together and see whether his hands are not clean? But by the time the man say my hand clean, you'll run away. You'll say, oh, the man say his hands clean, so let's run away from it. So that alone confirms that your hands are indeed dirty. That your hands are indeed dirty. Okay? Because if somebody comes and says, my hands are clean, let's work together, let's do things the new way, and you get mad, you take him to be your enemy, you begin to run helter-skelter, it's like the guy has thrown a bomb into the building, into this cluster of corrupt politicians. So they all running all over the place, and they will find everything to malign him. And the funny thing about it is some of the things that they even bring out does not make sense. Okay, some of the things that they bring out against Cummings some do not make sense at all. Like Asif Tupa was a member of the CDC. He was a close confidant of George Weah. I mean, they sat together, they ate together, they drank together, they talked together as peer group and party members. Everybody knows. Nobody needs to tell you the sacrifices that Asif Tupa made in the CDC. I remember when CDC was first formed, people on the internet, people were bad-mouthing people. Asif Tupa was one of those people who really suffered. People who say everything about him. And so this Asif Tupa, in my own opinion and in my own belief, must have known a lot about George Weah. We all got close confidants. We all got friends. Okay? So we that have friends, we also know which friends to hang out with, which friends to say this to, which friends not to say this to. Okay? So Asif Tupa goes and writes a book about George Weah's life. And not only negative things, some are very good things that he wrote about George Weah, promoting him. But at that time, when Asif Tupa was with George Weah, he didn't even know Alexander Cummings. As people say, nobody knew Cummings. Okay, so automatically George Weah was best known to Asif Tupa than Alexander Cummings. But going down along the road, George Weah and Asif Tupa break apart. Asif Tupa is a free man walking around looking for a job, so to speak. Alexander Cummings sees the resources, the human resources or the material in Asifar Tupa, and he says, okay, I can make you my chief of office staff. Okay. Now, Asifar Tupa gets a job with Alexander Cummings. Okay. And in that time, remember that Asifar Tupa has been thinking about writing this book. So Cummings did not detail a book to him. In fact, Asifar Tupa was in the employ of Cummings for less than a year. And this book project started 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. And so, how possible is it that Cummings would have detected what's in a book to Asifar Tupa? And so, everybody, the haters of Cummings, Sidishan have taught us new words, hater. If you nine that came, then you are hater. So, people who do not want to see Cummings around the table are going around and even alleging that Cummings know about this book. Cummings may have read this book. Yes. What if Cummings read the book? All of people who read the book, did they make contribution to the book? No. Okay. And the writers of the book have come out and knocked their own chest and say, we wrote the book. So what's the big deal about that? Okay. And so they want to connect Cummings to this thing because Cummings say hands clean. So they will look for every little thing. It's like you got a white chicken in the town. So and that white chicken stands all clean. So everybody else will want to leave some little spot on that white chicken. So Cummings says, my hands are clean. And then you guys say, okay, say he said hands are clean, that wrong thing he said, then you start running away. That means your hands are actually dirty. That means you admitting to the accusation he made against you, that your hands are not clean. Okay. And then so they try to find every little fault to make Mr. Cummings look bad. So some people say, oh, he knows about the boat as a Vatuba Road. Martin Kola goes to work and resigns from Senator Dillon's office, and he continues to claim his salary. They say, oh, Cummings surrounding himself with, how is Cummings supposed to know whether when Martin Kola resigned, Senator Dillon start paying him or government start paying him? How is Cummings supposed to know that? How is Cummings supposed to know that Asifar Tupa started writing a book 3 years back? Okay. How is Cummings supposed to detect the content of the book that Asifar Tupa started writing 3 years back when Cummings employed Asifar Tupa in just less than a year ago? Silly argument. Okay. So these people, they will try to find everything possible to make Cummings to look bad. Okay. And so going forward to 2023, there's going to be a lot of things happening. There is going to be a lot of political maneuvering. People, of course, politics is a game. Politics is a game where you maneuver the brains of the people. And Liberian people are so susceptible. Liberian people are so susceptible to maneuvering. So small thing, anybody, you will a lot of small, you can maneuver millions of Liberians in 1 second. You come and sit down and you talk all the nonsense. And so they're not going, they get, from the time I was growing up in Liberia, we always have this thing, ERTC. ERTC was even factual to some people than the radio. Okay, and I'm glad that some of us grew up differently because it's a gift of God. From the time I was a baby, I was young, small. Okay, I always loved radio. I remember my uncle had this little brown Sony radio in the back. And every time my uncle played this radio, I would keep glued to this radio because I wanted to know the people who talking. And it was whereby my uncle used to come in the interior, and then when he played the radio, this small little thing, he can speak Pele, he can speak Basho, he can speak all the traps. And so I was concerned, how this little thing, and so this is how my interest in journalism, developed. And I followed my interest until, by the grace of God, I was able to reach a stage where I became a practicing journalist. Okay, so but most Liberian people do not want to go beyond that. They listen to ERDC, they listen to what people will have to tell them. They wait somebody go and manufacture the news and kind of feed them, spoon feed them, open up their ears and put it there. And this is the ERDC. So if you have the loudest mouth and you sit on the radio or on the internet and talk all the nonsense, Liberian people will buy it more than thinking for themselves. How is everything now in Liberia associated with Cummings? Martin Kola works with, or he used to work for Senator Dillon. He resigned. His salary comes anonymously. His salary doesn't come on the internet that everybody can see, that even Cummings can see. So How possible is it that if Martin Kohler has resigned and still receiving his salary for about 3, 4, 5 months, how possible is it that Alexander Cummings is supposed to know that they will blame him? Oh yeah, the man he encouraging Martin Kohler. When people say these things, and let me tell you, I had this foreign friend who asked me, are Liberian people actually the people the way they behave? And I asked him, what do you mean? He said, I read some things on the internet and it doesn't sound real. And that's true. But Liberian people, we've become so some kind of way. I don't even want to describe us. You see, that we can buy anything. We can say, because we lazy. We lazy. All the book that people are making notes of, some people not even turn the first page. No, never ever. Like me, because for me, I'm not interested in it. So I haven't bought a copy. But people who describe this book and talk, even the worst thing, they have not, because Costa came and talked about chapter 13, the whole book of 100 and I think 93 pages, according to the writer, only chapter 13 matters. And so that chapter 13, they will grab it and connect Cummings to it. Every bad thing about it, they connect Cummings to it. All the good thing that as the Vachuba wrote in that book, they will not attribute to Cummings. No. Pretty soon, my co-host will be joining me, Antri. I think she's still doing some preparatory work there. But tonight, we'll be reading this press release from the Solicitor General. Now, I'll just lay your background, Antri, about, what the political gimmicks unfolding in
Mhm.
Liberia nowadays, where everything is about, Cummings, I don't know whether you used to hear the name Cummings in 2017 or prior to 2017, maybe a year before 2017. The Cummings made headlines in every newspaper, on every radio station, or something like that, from your memory.
Yeah, Cummings, I think the thing is, the corrupt people that have kept Liberia in the shackles of
Mhm.
poverty are beginning to be intimidated by his presence. It's because of his honesty, sincerity, and clean hands. So yeah, that is just it. And yeah,
But
the younger ones are moving towards his direction now. So they
yeah,
are
but
afraid.
the old politicians and their propaganda machinery, they make everything to be about Cummings now. Even me,
Mhm.
if I go in the restroom, Cummings supposed to know. If Andre Jallo go to the restaurant today, Cummings supposed to know what kind of food she will eat. Okay,
Oh
that
wow.
Cummings supposed to know that Martin Kohler resigned from
Mhm.
Senator Dillon office, and he's still taking pay, but he member of Cummings party. Cummings supposed to know that. Cummings supposed to know how, you know, everything. And Cummings supposed to know that
Mhm.
Asif Atukwa, who didn't know Cummings from anywhere, 3 years back, started writing a book 3 years back. Cummings supposed to know
Yeah.
all the content of that book.
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
Cummings take all the trouble because he decided to be clean.
uh-huh.
He decided just how he came in politics clean, he want to remain clean. That is the only crime that Mr. Cummings have committed. And this is why they are fighting him, because he thought that he being a clean man coming into politics, he's going to make his hand dirty. And Cummings said, no, I want to be clean. I want to set that precedent for other people to see and know that corruption is a sickness, corruption is evil, and corruption deprive the citizen of a country a lot of opportunities. So
But
that is the only crime he committed.
these should I say old time politicians, not even old, even some younger ones come there because you learn people. The country people got a parable. They say you can apply the new math or the old one. You follow the old
Yeah.
example. Mhm.
Hmm.
So even younger politicians coming in now, they know that our political system is dubbed
Yeah.
by what corruption. So
Corruption.
everybody that comes in government is there to grab something to go, and
Hmm.
and so they have learned this thing. So one man come in and try to make a difference. That tell me what?
All of them are ganging up to fight him. You
Yeah.
see what is happening? You
Mhm.
see the gang up, they are ganging up against Cummings to fight him. It's one against all. It's not an easy thing that he's going through right now.
And it reminds me of Tupac, the late Tupac, when he said, "Me against the world." Can you imagine that
Yeah,
you will
that's what
spend
going
against the
on now.
entire world?
It's
So
coming against the corrupt,
the
the
corrupt
corrupt
world. Okay, but
politicians.
we will continue our conversation with comments. But today, I understand you were supposed to be on some discussion about. But I will let you talk about it. Tell us exactly what was the program like. What did you guys and what? Just tell us about it.
Our program today was about the awareness of FGM. Um, our neighboring countries, some of our neighboring countries had all raised this awareness of trying to decriminalize the FGM. That means the female genital mutilation, which we called in Liberia the Sandy Society or the Sandy Bush, where women are being circumcised and men also undergo these practices too. Because I think 2 months ago, in the month of December last year, there were two Madingo boys that were apprehended by some of these bush society, and they forcibly joined these boys in their society because they said maybe the boys had gone to spy on them or something. So this is a culture that has existed in our setting, our African setting. It's not only in Liberia. In the entire of Africa, they practice FGM. And the Western world have been fighting to see how this practice can be eradicated because there are too many consequences of those who go through it. They suffer a lot, childbearing and other sexually impact that it has on them and a lifetime nightmare. Some even die in the process of this practice. So there are a lot of things, and also in relationship with abuse, sexual abuse, F, SGBV. Liberia is, we see it every day on Facebook. Every day when you open Facebook, you see a child has been raped, a child has been, molested, a child has been raped to death as early as the age of 3 years. So there was a lady who went to Liberia and she did a documentary on Liberia Sandy Society, and there were victims of these practices that decided to tell their story, and also there is a journalist, Azango. She worked for the Front Page Africa, and she also did a secret investigation by going within the Sunday Society and pretending as one of them in order to get the true story about what is actually happening in the Bush school. They call them the Bush school because yeah, they, according to them, they circumcise these children and then they teach them about womanhood, how to take care of their home, how to take care of their husband, how to take care of their children, how to behave in the society. But this practice is harmful because it's killing a lot of um, it's killing a lot of young children, and I even got to know today that children as young as 3 years old have been circumcised. And
Okay.
this,
And so what does this group intend to, or the discussions that you guys had today?
mm, they
What
are
what
they are going they are going to Liberia. They
and
are
what do
going
they
to
intend to
Liberia,
achieve? What do they intend to achieve?
raising awareness and also taking action to eradicate FGM, and holding the feet of the government for action. And this is why some of us advocates were on the program today. And you had members from the European Union. We had the head of the European delegation in Liberia. He was also on today. It was my first time seeing him face to face. And you have some powerful women within the EU. They were present, and all other dignitaries, other head of non-governmental organization, which is a non-profit organization. They were all there. These are all women groups, women advocate,
Okay,
and
let me just ask you. Everybody that was on this panel discussing this issue today, were everybody
Mhm.
for, or were there some people against?
No, there was, these people are all for. These are advocates. These are women advocates. These are decision making people, people who make decision within the EU, who make
Okay, that
recommendation. You
the
have.
reason the reason I
Mhm,
asked you that question is that, you know, every country has tradition, every
mhm,
country has culture. Like I mean, everywhere around the world. Like in East Africa, you see the Maasai, the way they dress, they put all these things around the women's neck, and I mean, all over Africa we have traditions and culture. Now,
mhm.
you and I live in Europe. The European also have their tradition and culture. European people will do tattoo all on their body, and all some will bow their ear and put big ring in there. Your blow
But
their ear.
but let
Wait,
me
I'm
cut
coming.
you
I'm
off
coming.
then.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay,
There,
go
some will
ahead.
blow their nose. Some will blow their nose. Some
Mm-hmm.
women, the very female genital that you trying to protect, some women will bow and pull, I call it a piercing on it. I've seen it, so there's nothing for her to hide, and you know they do all these things, but then they go to Africa and they try to demonize what the Africans do. So there was nobody against this thing, but the reason I'm saying all of this is that
Mm-hmm.
when you guys go to Liberia, you might meet people who will try to also defend their tradition. Now, the very Europeans that are
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell you that female genital mutilation is wrong, they are the same
Mm-hmm.
European who can change woman to male, they change male to woman. How do
Mm-hmm.
you look at that as an advocate? You as an advocate, have you ever thought that you also talk to the Europeans and or the white race who are against this thing? Have you ever thought as an advocate that you could talk to them not to change woman to male and change male to woman?
Let me educate you, Rufus.
Mm,
The culture that you are saying that is your culture is a
mm,
harmful culture.
mm,
I don't think that if this culture wasn't harmful,
mm.
the Western world will stand against it and try to help those that are affected
Okay,
to
Andre,
get.
you see,
No, no,
let
no.
me tell
Wait,
you,
I need to
this is
educate you because the thing is, you
uh,
are not a woman and
yeah.
you do not know the
Mhm.
consequence of this action. You do not know the mental effect what these victims suffer. Some children even die.
Yeah,
Some
I
children, there
agree.
are
No, I'm
nearly
not supporting it.
thousands of
Andre,
children.
I come from a traditional background. I come from a traditional
And
background.
listen to me, Linford. I know because you come from a traditional setting and they
Mhm.
have brainwashed you to believe that this culture is not
I'm
harmful
not
and that
brainwashed.
this
What
culture,
I'm
it
saying
is
is
their culture.
I
It
know
is
the
not a
effect of what you're
culture.
talking about. When I say I come
Mhm,
from a traditional background, I know the effect of what you're talking about. But you see,
mhm.
my point here is that the white man or the European, they come and tell you that female genital mutilation is dangerous. They can do
It
this.
is dangerous because they
Yeah,
are
I agree.
effect.
It's dangerous. I agree. But you
Uh-huh.
actually, are you willing to become a man that they will change you to be a man? Because the white people do it. They change
If they
woman to
are
man, they change man
changing,
to woman.
no, you listen to me. You
Uh,
are talking about two different things.
okay,
There
what
are
are the
two
difference?
different words. You
Mm-hmm,
have one is a choice, and
mm-hmm,
the other one is not a choice, it's by
mm-hmm,
force.
mm-hmm.
The Europeans, they have democracy. You live in Europe and I live in Europe. Everything that someone does here, you do it by choice.
Mhm,
Those children you see peers themselves and do things, they
mhm,
are of age. They
mhm,
do it because
mhm,
they want to do it. They are not forced into doing it. But in your African and traditional setting,
mhm,
these children,
mhm,
as early as 3 years old, they
mhm.
are very small. What kind of tradition are you teaching a young infant at the age of 3 that they are going to remember how to take care of a man, the child is too small. Give the child education. Make them to learn from that age instead of taking them to the Sunday bush and causing harm on them. It is unacceptable. Our practice is harmful, and you look at the kind of instrument that they use on these children,
Okay.
rusted needles.
Okay. Let me get ask. So, will you, as an advocate, will you want to follow the democratic process that this practice should not be totally abolished, but it should be left to the choice of people?
As for me, I stand for the abolishment of this tradition because
Okay.
it has harmed a lot of young girls and also boys. I'm not taking out the younger boys because they also suffer from this. We don't turn to make emphasis on the men. The men also suffer. The only thing is that the women suffer more because childbearing become difficult. Some of them don't even have that opportunity to become a mother anymore because of that harmful practice.
Okay.
Some of them sexually, they have sexual problem. When I was in school, I was curious to know because my mother decided to keep me away from my dad because of this practice, because this is that tradition. If I was at the age of 6, 7 and was around my dad, they could have initiated me because that's their tradition. But because she is educated, she is a teacher, and she know the value of democracy. She was never forced to go through any process because she did not come from that setting. So because of that, she protected me until I reached the age that I could protect myself. After she had nurtured me, tell me my rights, tell me
Okay.
all I need
The
to know.
reason why I'm
So
asking all
once,
of these
so
questions
once
is
I get out there to
Mhm.
them, once I get out there, it's already in my head. My mom has already taught me what I need to know. So
Yeah.
once I get out there, when they
The
start the
reason why I'm
topic,
asking you, the reason why I'm asking this thing, it doesn't appear. I mean, it shouldn't appear to you that I'm supporting it. Like I said, I come from a traditional background. I hate to say it, but I come from traditional background. Yeah, my family, everybody went through that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I know the harmful effect, and I know it got harmful effect. It also had good sides as well. Somebody's calling. I don't know who this person is. Probably want to appear on the show. Let me just see. I cannot do video, so I don't know. Let me just see. Let me get. Hello. Yeah, hello. Please call your video up. Please call your video off. Okay. Let me call you back. Okay. Please call your video off. Let me call you back. Okay, Andre, we continue our discussion. I think this person wants to chip in small, but the point I'm trying to make, like I said, not that I'm supporting it. I'm not in support. But the thing is, when we talk about brainwashing, I think it's both ways because the Europeans, like we said, they have their own culture and they come and they tell us that this is not good. Yeah, we agree. The reason why we believe in them so much is that they go to formal school, and they do all of these things. So let me get answer the person. I don't know. Hello, please, will you lower your volume because we're having feedback from you. Yeah. Hello, yeah, you hear me? Okay, very good. What's your name and where you calling from? I'm Larry Josh. I'm calling you from Cyprus. I'm calling from Cyprus. Yeah, what do you want to say? Yeah, I think the discussion. Okay, but you gotta, like I said, you gotta mute your device because we're still getting feedback. Okay. Whatever you're listening to, you gotta close it. You gotta close the volume. Okay. You getting me now? Yeah, I'm getting you. Okay. I can talk now? Yeah, you can talk. Go ahead. Okay.
She begins some points, but then tradition is meant to be obeyed. But now, due to modernization, we need to put some standard into place. We have our sister and brother, especially for those guys, grow butchers and things. They are not getting any formal education. You know what I mean? Tradition still remain, but then we have to put some system into place.
What type of system? What type of system you think we can put into place?
Well, the tradition remain, but then we should be able to make sure all those children that practice our culture and our tradition, they should be able to get formal education.
Oh, so in short, if I understand what you're trying to say, is that
I come in.
Okay.
They need to get some formal education, and secondly, we need to put certain things aside in our tradition. Where we have been modern last. So we call cultural assimilation. Sometimes you forsake your own culture, sometimes adapt another culture. Whether a lot of Liberians are traveling all around the world. We're doing ideology, we're doing type of culture. So some of this culture, it is good. We can infuse it into our society for the betterment of our society.
Yeah. Okay. So if you were to give some recommendations to the government or to people who practice these traditions, what will you say? I mean, specifically, let's focus on the women.
One major parameter like killing the fabric of our tradition is most of our zoos, parent chief, clan chief, they are not educated. But when they are educated, automatically they'll be able to put some system into place.
Yeah, but when you talk about education, I don't know, you mean formal education, or because the zoos and the zoos that practice this and they have their own education and they impact the children. For example,
I talk of formal education. Modernization taking place. Oh my brother, I have traveled to Nigeria. We take a chief in Nigeria is a man with PhD, a man with master degree. We take a chief in Nigeria that people who go to England, who go to a lot of places for schools, that run school. So we add value to our tradition.
Yeah, but okay, but wait, hold on, brother. We're talking about traditional education and we're talking about formal education. Okay, let's say the zoo had not gone to school, but this zoo knows the tradition well. He can teach the young boys how to become good fathers, good hunters, and strong men in the society. That's a different kind of education. And then we have the formal education. So this boy goes through this bush and he comes out and he becomes maybe an engineer tomorrow. Is there anything wrong with that?
No, that's what I'm saying. We need to add value. Where we are, those souls, our people that are educated, they have own tradition way of life that we all know about. You know, we talk about issue of civilization. Civilization means about the advanced form of culture.
I want you to take a position right here between two evils or between two things here. Are you in favor of the sandy bush and the porous bush continuing? Are you against it? Just take a position right away.
No, I'm not against it. I'm in full support of it. It is still our tradition. Yeah, our tradition. We still have to believe in it. But then we have to also measure the place as citizen. Some of the people put in the place. There's a lot of good things that come from the poor society. There's a lot of good things that come from the Sunday society.
Yeah, but you see, there is a bridge between the two here. I know Andre wants to come in, but there is a bridge between the two here. Now, you got the Sunday people or the poorer people, they are solely concerned about what happens in the bush. They do their thing in the bush, they give their own education in the bush. When John Brown comes from there, John Brown want to go to formal school. John Brown go sit down and start to learn the math, the arithmetic, I mean the algebra and all these things. Then John Brown become some engineer tomorrow. There is nothing wrong with that. So the man is so in the Sunday bush or in the Poro bush does not necessarily have to go and get education because he already educated in that area. That he area, everybody got that area.
Yeah, sir. Education varies. Education varies. There will be people who tell you right now. Tradition are being exposed. Tradition are being exposed. We can see our devil on Facebook. Yeah. Without on Facebook, on YouTube. So we have to ask value to these things. There are certain things we need to go away. And let me tell you right now, people not very hard private tradition before. Like before, they used to go back, we go to post Saturday, and they say it was spent like 4 years, I think 4 years or 2 years. But anyway, here, I can go here right now, I can somewhere. In 2 later, you get money, they initiate you, and you don't go buy a business. You don't know anything about tradition. So the thing have changed.
Okay.
For the society to forge ahead, we need a person in certain place. That's why you see La Bureau, you see La Bureau today, things get back on La Bureau. Yeah. Even those zones now you talk about right now, most of them come to town right now, they ride AC car. They ride AC car. I'm telling you.
When it's supposed to be walking with the okay. Okay. Okay, brother, we appreciate your time. And what's your name again?
I'm Larry Josh.
Okay. Enjoy your time in Cyprus, and we hope that.
So where are you?
Well, I'm somewhere far away from you. I'm in Norway, and my co-host that you see is also from.
I have a friend in Norway.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk to them. You can call me later on after the show. You can call me later after the show, and you can talk to your friends. So, but it was good. It was good, and then please greet our librarians there and tell them to be very, very, very careful. Okay. Okay.
No, I'm the chairman here. I'm the chairman of my library committee here.
Okay then. Yeah, encourage your friends and tell them about this show. We come on every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. What is the time there now? The time is almost 9 o'clock there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but then so we're on the same frequency. So we come here, we come on every Tuesday at 8 o'clock and Friday at 8 o'clock. We're coming back Friday again. So share the link with them and tell them to be a part of us, because this is how we're going to know what's happening to librarians everywhere around the world. Okay? The lady is from, yeah, that's a librarian girl. She's from Belgium also.
Oh, she's from Belgium.
Okay then. So thanks for calling and have a good night. Okay. Andre, you follow closely the conversation. This fellow is agreeing that the tradition should stand, but we should give it some value. How do you look at it?
For me, I don't agree with them. I want this tradition to be abolished and eradicated completely, because it has suffered a lot of innocent children. Innocent children have died from it. Our mothers have gone through a pain without being able to have any child or children because of this harmful practice. Some of them, they had issues in their marriage and stuff like that. So it is time that we end this harmful practice and try to showcase the culture of Africa, the tradition of Africa in a very unique and in another way. And that's the way that people will look at it to be devilish, evil, and diabolic. Africans have a very good culture, a very good, kind, and yeah, that I know of. But
Okay,
this
okay.
other part of the
There is
African
something here.
American,
I'm sure you are reading the post as well, but there is this post. I think it's the same poster, but the last part of the last post is what I will put. It say, I think the tradition of educating girls uh should stay. I think he tried to say should stay, but the body cutting should stop. Um, where
if
do you
you want
stand?
to abolish, you abolish everything because they will never stop. They will never stop. You want to get rid of something, get rid of it.
Okay, yeah, that's your contribution. But okay, let me also respond to this post or this comment. You commented, commented. You are saying that the tradition should stand, but the body cutting should be abolished. Now, even in a women's society, there is something that signifies that they are. I think I don't know about much about the Freemasonry or the UBF or whatever, but I think there is something about them that will identify them because you can't just go and say I'm from the Freemasonry or I'm from this, so that you cannot be identified. Say you join a power society, okay, you can be identified by that that identification that you got. So you cannot just walk into, so no Paul, John or Harry will just walk into one bush and tell the person I'm a member. They'll ask you, they'll try to find out how you become a member. So like Andre said, if they are to abolish it, it should be abolished. But if you say, well, let them go there and do the education. So how will you know who is there? Because even schools, the white, they see when we talk so. The white men who talking, the white people when the school that we go to, people use uniforms to identify William V. Stormy High from Detroit High. You see it? So nobody will get, or else one student will get moved from one class and go sit in the other class when they ask him, say, I've been here before. You see it? So it's a difficult thing. But my take on this thing, like I said, I'm a traditional man. Uh, it's difficult to say, but there are some good and some bad things about it. Okay. Um, but the European come and make it to look so demonic. And they say European, when after they destroy our culture, they turn around and tell you Africans have no culture. Africans have no culture. And I live in Europe here. The biggest history about Europe is war. Everywhere in Europe here you go, you see some statue of one guy with sword in your hand who been killing people. That they cannot put it honor here. Okay, and nobody talks about that. Nobody sees that. Go everywhere in Europe, you see one giant statue standing with sword, okay, with people bound to it or something. It's been killing people. That they cannot put it honor. If Africans do that, people will say, "Oh, Africans were killers. Africans were killers." So, but if you want to participate on a show, you can call us on that number on your screen. It's the same number, but that's okay. Let me take this call. Hello, Angie. Paro Peter, please lower your music. Please lower your music and lower your device.
Hello?
Yeah, lower your music and lower your device. Angie Peters.
You said?
Look, Angie, I don't know whether she's following us, but Angie Peters, she's our correspondent from Liberia. I don't know, probably she has a message for us. She's our news anchor from Liberia. But probably she's not following us and she's playing music in the car, so we cannot take her. But like I was saying, in Europe here, if you go, everywhere you go, you will see giant statue of guys who have been killing people. That the kind of culture they got. Okay, Europe, the whole culture of Europe is all about conquering. Okay, and one strong guy killing people and becoming the giant right there. So all these things, when we talk, we gotta look at one side and look at one side. The European, yeah, they say they practice democracy, right? They say yes. So they let a child. My son is 18; he can decide to be woman. Okay. If we do it Africa, they will also say, "Oh no, African, you're supposed to have control over your child." You see, so it's hard. And the women does this. The European do this intentionally because they control everything that we do. in a way, they control everything that we do. They will tell you what to do, and
It's not what you
yeah,
it's
that is a debatable
Linford.
thing. It's a
Linford, if
debatable
you
thing.
if
Yeah.
you talk like that, people
Mhm.
might just think that,
No,
you are
I'm
in a
actually in between here.
civilized
I
world,
already said
Linford.
I'm from the traditional background. I know that they
Mm.
are. I went. Okay, let me just give you the secret today. I went to the Porridge Bush. Okay, I know
That's why
good
you're
and bad.
defending them. Oh
No,
my
no, I'm not
God.
defending them. I'm telling you, I know the good and the bad. You are not being in anything. So you only look at one side, the bad part, but I've been there, so I know the good and the bad. If somebody asks me, and if I'm supposed to tell a person who is a member to or know the good and the bad, it's
It's
like
not good.
yeah,
There
listen to
is
me.
no good, there
Listen to
is
me.
no bad,
Listen to me.
and Linford.
Everything get a good and a bad side. Even the thief who can see you get a good and a bad side. But let me tell you one thing. The
There
people
is no good and bad side about this
okay, why
culture.
why
The
why why you
culture
think
is
why you
evil,
think the
it is
European wait,
evil.
excuse me, why you think the European believe that they should have men changing to woman if there's no good and bad side
It
about it?
is by choice.
Okay,
This is
so
not
why it
by
can't be the
choice.
choice of Africans?
No, for you in Africa, it is not by choice, but it is by
Because
force. You are taking
I got brothers, I
in
got brothers
Europe.
who did not go. I got brothers who did not join.
Listen to me, Linford. You
Mhm.
have 99%. Only 1% can make a choice, but you have 99%. Do you see a 3 years old in Europe is being forced to become a man or a woman or a boy or a girl? No, it is when they become older and they make a choice to be who they want to be. That is their right. That is the democracy that you and I enjoy in the West. But
Mhm.
in Africa, it's not democracy. You are harming innocent children. We are all African, but this is not a culture. It is not a culture, and we should stand up against it. We
Mhm.
should talk about it that it can be eradicated because a lot of people have suffered and there are murders, older women now who are going through this trauma because of this harmful practice, and we must speak about it. We must. I was a young girl. I was very curious. When you people are young, especially girls in Africa, you take bath together. The girls take bath together, the boys take bath together. And whenever I see a girl with that mark on her back, that is the symbol of society. When they see me, oh, so you didn't go to society? What are you talking about, society? And I want to know more. I want to know what it is. Even older people who they have all of these marks on their back, some of them they have it all on their when they explain to you what they go through, the psychological effect, sexually, their husband leave them because they cannot, some of them, their husband cannot take it, that they had to be caught. Some of them cannot bear a child as a result of them being caught. It is a harmful practice. We should eradicate this thing, we should stop it, and we should speak out against it. We have seen it, or the generation of ours have suffered it, but it is left with us to make the decision whether we will allow those generation that is coming after us to still be going through genital mutilation. And I
Okay.
say no. I
Okay,
say no, and
strong
I
advocate,
stand up
strong
against it.
advocate, Antrik Jalo. It was good that you were on our
Yes.
panel today. And
Do you know that I was ostracized, because that's how I call it. My family, they always see me different. And why they see me different? Because I'm never part of a society. They
yeah, yeah,
always see me
but
different. Yeah.
that's all.
Because
That's
I
what
never went through the poorer society, and that is their tradition. But as a child,
women do not go through that poor society. Don't try it. But all the
no, they send it society. That's why
yeah.
the poorer is for the men. That's what I'm saying.
But
In my half family setting, if you don't go through that system, they see you as an outcast. They see you as unclean. They see you as not worth it to be among them. And I always tell them, even my grandmother, sometimes she want to try to brainwash me or to try to see how she can persuade me in another way. And what I always tell her is that I was born a Christian. I was brought up as a Christian, and I would die as a Christian. And that's it. Christian in the sense that nothing, just how my body was, and that's how it's going to go back. I'm not going to allow myself to be caught or be marked because of culture or any other thing. So if that will make them to always see me as a stranger among them, to see me as an outcast, then so be it. And I
Okay,
live with it.
okay. Thanks a lot, Andre. I appreciate your advocacy, and we all seek the betterment of Liberia. And like the caller said, we are
Mhm.
moving towards the modern world, and all
Yes.
countries that in the world should become part of the modern world. And
Yes.
as we move, we got to be dropping and adapting and adapting. My
Yeah.
worry, my sometimes my qualm with the Western world is that they don't want to adapt a lot of things from Africa, but they want us to continue to adapt from them.
No,
And
you
sooner or
don't have
later,
to. You don't have to. You don't have to have
of
that
course, we have to.
mentality.
We have to. Of course, we have to.
No,
But
no,
that's a different
that's a
debate.
wrong mentality,
Yeah,
Rufus,
that's
and
a different debate.
people.
That's a different debate, and a lot of people will not agree to that. That's a different debate. But let's see if we can join our news room in Liberia. Will
Okay.
be yeah. We'll actually apologize for the quality because we couldn't run it through the system because of time factor. So but we'll try to play it from our device and see if it is loud enough. So please
Okay.
forgive us as we go through, and that's going to be like we taking a break and we just follow the news right now.
Yeah.
Andre, yeah.
Yeah.
Evening and welcome to the new segment of Bottom Line Liberia. My name is Angelique Noah presenting. At long last, the government of Liberia has announced the completion of the executive mission after 16 years of rehabilitation work. Addressing a major press conference, Information Minister Leje already disclosed that President George Weah is set to officially return to the executive mission on February 14, 2022. He added that the mansion is 90% done and will host the president's family until renovation works are completed. The embattled chair of the Liberty Party, Musa Beliti, over the weekend filed an official complaint against Grand Bassa County Senator Yubli Kanga Lawrence and other suspended officials of Liberty Party to the National Elections Commission. The complaint filed before the dispute session of NEC, according to Ability, is as a result of some suspended officials of the Liberty Party claiming to be members of the party following the suspension. In the wake of strange happenings in Liberia, the youth of Watchtower community in Police Academy on Monday staged a peaceful protest in demand of justice for Henry, a 17-year-old boy who allegedly lost his tongue in an attack with some unknown individuals. The Independent National Commission on Human Rights says CBA between the Bear Mountain Company and employees of the company has been violated, something that has amounted to bad labor practices for Liberian employees at the ministry. Liberia joins the rest of the world to call for an end to female genital mutilation, or FGM, in observance of the day celebration on the theme Accelerating Investment to End Female Genital Mutilation. Liberia has received the third consignment of a 1 million health materials promised by Help Liberia, an organization based in the United States. Begin during the offloading process at the Ministry of Health, the country director of Help Liberia, Minister William Tidibo Thompson, disclosed that each of the bags cost at least 305,000 United States dollars and will target 6 counties to be delivered directly at various health facilities. The slow pace of business transactions around the country has resulted to marketeers in Ganta City, Nimba County, rejecting a market building constructed by the government of Liberia. The marketeers were seen returning to their former business site as a result of what they termed as poor buying conditions. As part of efforts in empowering youths, Margibi County Senator Emmanuel Nukwe over the weekend donated 13 motorbikes to motorcyclists in Kakata, Margibi County. According to Senator Nukwe, the donation was in fulfillment of his campaign promise made to motorcyclists following a quest for empowerment in the county. The chairman of the Rainbow Alliance, Virginia Guthridge, has described the Liberia honor President Joshua as a nation begging for better leadership. According to Goodrich, the country's economy has declined and the citizens are finding it difficult to find their daily bread. And Liberia National Police have charged and forwarded to court 5 persons for the commission of crimes of criminal conspiracy, armed robbery, and murder in connection to the Negro Town chess stampede. Police findings disclosed that a group of armed robbery led by suspect Peter Weir forcibly harassed the worshippers of their phones and personal belongings using cutlasses and other harmful weapons. Those were the latest updates from our news segment. My name is Angelique Noir, and thanks for listening.
Okay, we say thanks to Angeline Noah in Monrovia, Liberia. She is our correspondent there, and she collects all of the major stories for the day or for the week, and compiles them, and keeps us alert. The thing here is that most of the newspapers are now on the internet, and so it's difficult to go through some of what happens. So that's why we have the news segment here. And so if you're joining us for the first time, we say this is the bottom line, Liberia, and please share this video. And remember that we come on every Tuesday, 7 o'clock Liberian time, 8 o'clock Central European time, and 7 o'clock GMT. So if you're using the GMT time anywhere around the world, you can join us. And my name is Linford Guer, and Andre Chalo is there in Belgium. Andre, you heard in the news that today Liberia joined other countries calling for
The
the
end to
abolition
FGM.
of
Yeah.
so the same thing we're talking.
Yeah,
It means
today I had so many programs that I even registered for today to attend. It's a hectic, and then I have to be on this show today.
yeah, but
So
you know they say on easy lies the hair that wears your crown. If you want to wear a crown, you gotta you will not be your hair will not be easy.
no, for
And
me,
then
I don't want to wear no crown. I just want
another thing, one of the comments mentioned here is that we didn't talk about the boy whose tongue was cut. We don't. For me, I don't have much
it was
information.
mentioned on the news now that was read.
Yeah, it was also mentioned on the news. That's why it even
Mhm.
made me to remember. The reason why we didn't talk about it, or we're not talking about it, is that I've not had enough information. I saw the pictures, very gruesome, and this little boy was lying in pain and agony, and that was very troubling. But such is the society we live in,
Yeah.
where it's like everybody for himself and
Mhm.
God for all, because the president came out and said we should all buy our CCTV. And I don't
Mhm.
know how the CCTV will work when there's no electricity. Even if you have a CCTV, you mount it on your house, it's dark. So anybody can creep under the covers of darkness and do anything.
Mhm.
And it's just impossible. Even in Europe, we all do not have CCTV. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't
But
understand. Maybe
we are well protected through the grace of God by the
no, I
police.
agree. I agree. What the point I'm trying to make is that is nowhere on earth where everybody gets CCTV. Is that possible?
Mhm.
The government is the
Of course, no.
responsibility of the government to provide that security for
But that is
for the
just to
citizens.
show you the incompetency of we are. These are some of the reasons we don't hate we are, but we are is incompetent because he cannot provide those basic necessity for the people. Security is one of the major issue in a country. That's why I said on the program today that the EU should come in because the American government are doing more when it comes to holding the feet of the government to fire. They are seeing all of the corruption and they are taking action against it. And we want the EU to also follow suit to take drastic action against this government. There are so many murders, there are so many rape issues. The young children are being killed for ritualistic purposes. Our young boys have been sodomized. There's a molestation going on within the hierarchy of the government where the chairman of the ruling party was on record for telling people that the president himself molest he's in the habit of molesting female staffers in order to give them job. So too many abuses. So we need the European Union to stop funding the government, stop giving them any kind of fund or assistance, and ask them to do the right thing by protecting. That's why I love the introduction that the present European delegate head in Liberia gave, that the EU present in Africa is to see a safer place for every children where they will have to live, that their sexual part cannot be forcibly, harmed, where they cannot be abused. They know all of this, they see all of this. So now we want them to also take action. Likewise, the Americans are taking action. They also should stop funding the VR government, stop supporting them in any other way, and tell them we want the people to be safe. Because if Liberians cannot be safe, they also that are in the country are not safe. No one is going to be safe. The
Mhm.
citizens of the country need to be safe before an outsider can be safe.
Yeah, that's why in Mr. Cummings' reaction to President Weah's address, he said the absence of war does not necessarily mean peace, because you can have economic war, um, you can have social war, you can have political war, like what's going on now. People are fighting political war where
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of people gang up against one political leader and they want to bring him down because they see him as the strongest man. But our main topic for tonight was the government of Liberia has failed to produce evidence to press charges against Mr.
Mr.
Alexander Cummings.
Cummings.
And since they took this case to court, they have not been able to produce any evidence, but
Mhm,
rather they asked Mr. Cummings to produce evidence, and something that Mr. Cummings team is fighting against. In fact, they have already, I think, gone to uh, court, and that case
mhm.
is in court A,
Yeah.
the circuit court A, and the judge that was initially on this case, Judge Joma Jala, is fighting to produce to even defend himself there. But
Mhm,
in the same vein, so the government or the solicitor, the office of the Solicitor General today released a press statement, which is very, very, very long. But I will try to go through it very fast. But that,
The judiciary is another messy part of the government. These lawyers and judges, they need to be taken drastic action against. They are so corrupt. Their corruption has no conscience. People will carry their case and they just do all kinds of things.
yeah, but if the executive is corrupt, then so what do you think about the judiciary? They are just the same. But
Yeah,
let's
then,
let's
then, then we ask that the same decision that was taken against Vanish Sherman should be also taken against some of these lawyers and law firms. Start
let's
to
go through
start to
let's go
sanction
through
them.
let's go through this press release by the office of the Solicitor General
Solicitor
of
General.
Liberia, because the reason we find this disturbing, and the reason we find it comical, the reason we also
Mhm.
find it important to read, is to let the Liberian people know that the case against Mr. Cummings does not hold water. Because
Yeah.
before this case even started, the moment the lawsuit was issued and the writ of arrest was issued, Solicitor General,
Came on Facebook.
he came on Spoon TV and he said they got incontrovertible evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were asked this particular question: have you, George, have you had any case like this before that you will build this case onto George? He said,
Mm-hmm.
no, but the evidence that we have in this case is very strong. And in
Mm-hmm.
fact, he declared Mr. Cummings a criminal there. And
Yeah.
the case went to court. The case are
Okay.
not being finalized. Mr. Cummings still stands accused. And under the jurisprudence system, the
Mm-hmm.
accused is considered innocent until found
Until found
guilty.
guilty.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
here or before this point, up to today, the Solicitor General, who's supposed to be the prosecutorial arm of government in this case, passed a guilty verdict against Mr. Cummings by saying that Mr. Cummings is a criminal. Now, and he
Mm-hmm.
didn't stop there. Even today, in his press release, he still accused Mr. Cummings as
Cummings as criminal.
criminal. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll take our time to read it. It is left with you, listeners, to digest what we're trying to say. Monrovia, Liberia, February 7, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Monrovia, Liberia, February 7, 2022. The attention of the Office of the Solicitor General is drawn to a campaign of misinformation and blatant lies being perpetrated by certain individuals in Liberia or in the Liberian society and abroad, describing the arrest and current prosecution and trial of Alexander B. Cummings and others as an attack on democracy and the rule of law. The perpetrators of this nefarious campaign are alleging that the trial of Cummings is an attempt to silence him and ensure non-existence to the rule of the current government. The Office of the Solicitor General dismisses this allegation as baseless and describes them as nothing but mere diversionary tactics employed by the detractors to divert the attention of the public from the shameful conduct of the ANC leader in altering and forging the CPP framework document to further his political ambition. Now, right here, folks, the Solicitor General has not been able to provide any iota of evidence, but yet he continues to accuse Mr. Cummings as having forged passing guilty verdict. But we'll continue to read. The release issued today clarifies that the trial of Alexander Cummings and others on charges of forgery and criminal conspiracy is the most audacious way to judiciously compact and contain his alleged swollen ego, complained of by the All Liberia Political or the All Liberia Party, that's the ALP, and other political leaders in the opposition who have viewed this or his attention or actions rather and activities as clever attempts to undermine Liberia's multi-party democratic credentials and the freedom of association for his selfish gains. Rather than spreading lies and misinformation about the trial, the release added the alleged fraudulent conduct. You see, it's very difficult to understand where the Solicitor General stands. In one paragraph, he alleges that Mr. Cummings is a criminal. He forged the framework document. Then in other paragraph, he will come and say alleged. And let me tell you, I personally, I didn't say nobody. I take responsibility for what I say now or what I'm saying now. I personally know this Serena Cephas. He and I worked for the same entity during the war for complete more than 4 or 5 years. Serena Cephas, I know him. Nobody pointed to me and said, this is a man called Serena. I know him. I know him. I say, I know him. I know him. Temperamental, behaves like he's on a border of sanity and insanity. One point he will cross to sanity. He's very good, very sensible. The next 1 second, he's on the other side, he's going wild. He starts to shout all over the place. I know Serena Seafood. I am saying it. I didn't say anybody else. I say I know Serena Seafood. And every attribute that I'm making to him, I can defend it. I know. I got people who can attest to it. So at one moment he comes, Mr. Comey forced the signature, the framework document at one point is alleged. Okay, let's go. The release further clarifies that defendant Cummings is on trial because he has been accused, along with others, for fraudulently altering, forging, and resolving for his own benefits the critical issues of when and how a party shall exit. So these are things that you're supposed to be saying in a court. So why do you bring them in a press release? You should go to court and prove these things. Okay? Timeline for timeline. Okay? Events for events. Article by article. But you rather escape the court. You're asking Mr. Cummings to provide you evidence. Then you come in a press release and read all this nonsense. I don't, this is the handwork of Serena Seafood. I know this is the handwork of Serena Seafood. And it surprises me. Oh, no, it doesn't surprise me because I know him. But probably a lot of you will be surprised that this guy flip-flops. And this is him. I know, I told you just a minute ago that I know Serena Seafood. Nobody pointed to him and said, this is Serena Seafood, the man that got Seafood. I know him. We worked together for more than 4 or 5 years. We stood together, we talked, we sat together, we talked. I know him. I say, I know him. I know Serena Seafood. This is exactly him. He always operates on the border of sanity and insanity. 1 minute, he's very sane. The next minute, he's insane. I'm saying it. I know Serena. Okay. Enough of that nonsense. But the main meat of this thing is that at one point, he says, Cummings forged the framework document. Then at another point, he says, he begin to cry that people are giving misinformation campaign. You are in court, my friend. While you are in court, whatever people say outside does not hold water. Your case in court, your evidence that you provide is what will hold water, not what people will say outside. So why are you paying attention to people in the diaspora, people at home? Similarly, so we got people at home who are calling Mr. Cummings criminal, he forged document. So what effect does that have on the case? What you produce in a court now is what has effect on the case. Your evidence that you produce, Mr. SG, or he said I don't have anything to produce. Why are you crying foul? You took the man to court. I thought you would have been crying foul if people were hiding Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings was refusing to go to court. His supporters were hiding him. No, you got supporters of Ure who come and buy more Cummings every day. They call him criminal. They call him all kinds of names. Costa does that. And he follows. They follow him. Okay? Why don't you complain about them? But when Cummings people come and defend him, then you complain. If you don't have any case against Cummings, just throw the case out. So why will you complain? You think somebody's going to give you credence? Somebody's going to cry for you? Somebody's going to side with you and say, oh, you know, you'll stop. My friend, the fact of the matter is that you, Serena Seafood, you came and made big mouth, and some of you quit to forget. I will tell you, my friend, you're my friend of long. We knew each other for a long time, and we'll be friends henceforth. Throughout, fast forward, we'll be friends. You may not like what I say. You may not like what I believe about you, and you may not like how I know you, but we are friends and we'll remain friends. That's it. Take it or leave it. Serena Seafood, if you didn't have evidence, you shouldn't have come and made big mouth on Spoon TV and talk all these things, incriminate Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings says stands accused. You have not brought any evidence against him to convict him. So does that mean that his people who believe in him cannot talk? Why don't you go and tell Europe people to stop talking? Every day they attack Cummings. Somebody goes and collect salary, they say Comey know about it. Somebody goes and write book, they say Comey knows about the book. You Solicitor General, you have never said anything. But when Comey's people talk, then you come and cry and release. I think you should get ready to release more press release. And this whole thing, I think Comey's too is to be blamed. You got Bernard now sending people after him, abusing him all over the place. Some of the people who don't even know their tail from their head, they're abusing him. Then he comes came and told his supporters, you should not curse anybody, you be calm, you should not attack anybody. Let me tell you, Liberian men believe in fire for fire. Cummings, no matter what you do, the Liberian people will vote the way they want to vote. The people who will be behind you will vote for you. Let me tell you, George Weah, I can tell you this fact. George Weah, all the things that everybody, including me, we all say about George Weah, the people who try to vote for, who believe in him, they voted for him. Okay? So if you want to be Mr. Injure, you want to be Mr. Good, my friend, you will all be the victim. Liberia is fire for fire. If it is your time to become president, Cummings, no matter what you do, the people will vote for you. Run your campaign, sell your platform, tell the people what you can do for them. Forget about the rest of the game. Let the people play. Okay? The Joe Burger today, what Cummings parading, or Costa parading. Costa called him dead body. And what happened? Joe Burger went to him because he's desperate. He wants to be president. So even if you kill him, as long as his body will be president, you succumb. Burger of all person, somebody that I hold high esteem of statesman. I will not use words, the kind of words on him. Okay? But Costa used those words on him. And he still fell under Costa because Costa is promoting him. So you come in, you want to play Mr. Injure. He said, oh, nobody should attack Waka. Nobody should attack. No, let me tell you, fire for fire. Fire for fire. Okay? That's a game. Okay? People who will vote for you will vote for you.
Yeah.
You don't need to be afraid. Fire for fire. Lift that band on your supporters. If somebody calls you, let them go after the person, people too. Simple. Fight for fire. I'm not encouraging violence here, but that's a fact. Why is Serena Silvers crying when he said he got evidence that cannot be revoked? He got evidence that cannot be contended. Why he can't produce those evidence? Then you come and say, coming people are in the diaspora saying that, or carrying a message. You think you got control over what somebody says, Serena Silva?
What
The same way
somebody say, yeah.
We're big boss on Spoon TV and talk all the
But
nonsense.
Linford, that's
Yeah.
the guy who I think he and myself were in a news paper, a newspaper chat room. We had a heated argument, and this guy was boasting of being a member of the ICC, and like seriously, what is the criteria that these people use to put you on that a member of ICC?
That's a false. That's a
Because
false.
you
It cannot
no,
be
I
true.
don't. Yeah, that's what he said, and I still have all of those messages, and I screenshot it because for me, I would like to ask some questions. Why is it a man like him would be on the ICC International Crimes Prosecuting Team? Why a man who is engaged into all kinds of evil acts, murders, and you name it?
I can tell you for a fact. I know Serena. I told you we worked together for more than 4 years, 5 years. I know him well. In fact, not even 4, 5 years, several years. Okay, we work together.
But
Nobody pointed to me.
I've already made him known today because I made mention of him at the program today that he is on record. He is on record and for killing innocent virgin and taking their parts. If he was somebody, he would just sit down and close that his mouth. But God has his way of. They say when the monkey, I know when the monkey won't
The
die,
monkey ready to die.
it
You
can
can
hear
hear whistle.
whistle again. That what happened. Serena Cephas can hear the sound of the whistle. He just all over. And Cummings is the last person. Cummings is the last person that you intimidate or try to destroy him. It's not gonna work. We are
You know,
behind him.
let me tell you one thing. You see the gold chain I'm wearing? You see gold? Before it can become very good, very clean,
Yeah.
very pure, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta purify it.
Mold it. Yeah. We
Yeah,
got
you
to
got
mold it. It
pass it
has
through a
to.
fire. So I think
Mm-hmm.
also what Mr. Cummings is going through is the process of purification. You see, George, we are people just grab the fellow from football field. In fact, after he left football field, many years, he left football field more than 20 years, he even
Mm-hmm.
forgot some of the ethics on the football field. He was just floating all over the place. The people talking, they
Mm-hmm.
put him in the mansion. As president, you see what he doing? He didn't care. He didn't suffer. It's like somebody just take you from first grade and put you to college
Yeah.
and give you a degree and say go. You even know.
You don't even know
So
what it's like. Yeah.
Promise is
Mm-hmm.
passing through a process of purification. He's
Mm-hmm.
he,
I
and
agree with
when
you.
he sort of won and become president, you will know, you will look back at history and say, wow, this is
And
where I
see
came from.
what he went through.
Yeah.
And even by the help of God, if he went to be the president, he would know how to deal with these same people who are fighting, because tomorrow you know them now. These are party, we call them party von von. Anywhere party are there where they going. They are corrupt. We call them corruption von von.
But I will tell you
That's
one
the
thing,
time
country.
they will
And,
be
and,
calling Mr. Cummings, cause you know
and
we
what I'm
from the
telling you
same.
today, Cape A, save the video. Cummings will win the elections. He
Of
will
course, he
become
will, by
president.
the grace of
And
God.
all these people, they will come by now and say, that our politician. And of course, that Liberia, we are all one man. I mean, you can't do come not because they pass
But
through Cummings.
this is where we expect Mr. Cummings to be different, because he said, I will be different. We can't be doing the same thing over and over and
Mhm.
expect it. So most of them, you people will be persecuted. You know, the UP people and the CDC and the ALP, when you look at these people track record, these are people who have committed economic crimes. Some of them have committed war crimes. So they don't want to be persecuted. This is why they are trying to hold on to power to protect them. It's not gonna happen. It is time for real change. It is time for justice. And
Mhm.
justice
But
will have.
the thing that really I can get over. Yeah, somebody just said they will say, "Oh yeah, that was politics, man."
Yeah,
Or it
they
can
will
happen
say
anywhere, even
politics.
in America. They will say that was politics. It can happen in
Mhm.
America.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that party von von, political
yeah.
von von.
Yeah, but but of course, on a very serious note, I do expect that Mr. Cummings will prosecute his political opponents when he becomes president and say, "Oh, my
No,
man, you were against me." No,
he will not
no,
persecute them and with regards to politics, but he's gonna persecute them
no.
with
No.
regards
Yeah, I
to
always said it.
corruption,
Listen.
economic
Yeah,
crimes.
yeah. I always said they will empower the LACC. They will empower the LR. I call it. Yeah, the other commissions. They will empower them
Mhm.
and they will work. They will do their work. When their finger point to you, they'll go after you.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
the other thing, the point I'm trying to make is that all the people that are against him and suing him and doing all this, when he becomes president, he will not say, "Okay, my man, because you're against me, you can't work in the government. You'll get a job. Those are able to. I mean, want to work, they will work. But because of their own sheen face, I don't know what a Benona will be. Benona get drafted. Let me tell you that guy. This is the guy who sound.
That one I
This is the
say,
guy who sound
that one I
Costa
use
show
the,
and said
that is
he
why I
never
use the
used to be
word,
afraid
they
of
start
Taylor.
calling commis
Yeah.
cause, that Beneda Urena,
This is
cause.
Ure who sat on Costa show and said he was never afraid of Taylor. You were not afraid of Taylor? You could stay in Taylor face and talk nonsense? Nah, you got Taylor in jail, that's all I think I said and talk all the kind of thing. But we know all of them. First, someone will know them. So, but what I'm saying is that, because of Sinn Féin, some of them will not want to work in a communist government and all this kind of thing. But uh, in a same token, I believe that we are all Liberians. And no matter what, at the end of the day, we should all come together. Like Mr. Cummings said, we should put our differences aside,
Messiah.
Yeah. And whether you are against, and Liberians are a very small country, and trust me, you step on somebody toe, that
Yeah.
person go crying. He said, "Oh, what happened?" He said, "Andre, step on my toe. I'll know that person." Then the
Yeah.
person will say, "Oh," then he said, "Oh, but I know the person who know you." So
Yeah.
Liberians are a very small country. Seriously speaking,
Mhm.
Liberia's a
A
small
small
country.
country, everybody know everybody.
Everybody knows somebody who knows somebody. So
And this is why it's hard for anything to be kept, because once somebody knows something, everybody's gonna know
of
about
course,
it.
everybody's going to know.
So all of the things, these are some of the things that make we are very naive and stupid, because all of the dirty things that he does, he think that we who outside, we are not aware of it, and he failed to realize that everybody know everybody. So you do something within the hierarchy of the CDC uh, 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 led government. And these same seditious, they have their family. Some of them have their wife has their best friend, their husbands have their best friend. And that's how it spread. And that best friend have another best friend, that other best friend have another, like that.
But
So
let me
there's nothing
all I
secret.
can all I can tell you, Andre, uh, I'm not any authority on judicial matter, but I will tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Andre, look at the whole thing here. When the case started, the suit coming, the scene that the suit coming, the next day, rid of the arrest for out for him. The next day,
Yeah,
Serena
yeah.
Sifa was online,
Was
was
on
on Spoon
live.
TV, yeah, to
Mm-hmm.
start talking all these things. Why I say that this
Mm-hmm.
case have gone 1 month and say no hair, no tail. This case, they're going to throw it out. What I'm telling you today, save this video. They are
It
going to
was
throw this case
planned.
out.
It was planned, but they don't know how to carry out their plan.
Yeah.
That's the thing about
And
Liberians.
Serena Silva
They
trying
know
to
how to
deny.
conspire. Yeah, they
Yeah,
conspire
in a
against
press
people,
release here,
lie.
he trying to in a press release, he's trying to deny that the whole action, the whole lawsuit here was not intended to stop Mr. Cummings from the process of delaying. But they see
Mm-hmm.
that while the case is in court, Cummings is still moving. Cummings was in Bomi County a few days ago.
Yeah.
Cummings was in
Mm-hmm.
Lapasi, my old residence, Lapasi, yesterday or 2 days ago. And Cummings is planning to go other places. And now Cummings himself physically, but people are going other places. So they know that they cannot stop him because there is no law now on the boat that can stop him. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So it's in vain. Their effort is in vain. So now, because
Yeah.
of Sinn Féin, they're trying to switch the blame. You can't stop, for God's sake. While the case is in court, there is no law that says I cannot talk about it, that you cannot talk. Why they use Serena Silva come out and say all these things before the case, even before Mr. Cummings even enter court. So while the case is in court, there is no law that says I cannot talk about it, Andre can't talk about it, nobody can talk. So why are you
Mm-hmm.
complaining? Are you going to mute Mr. Cummings' supporters
No,
not
he
to
need to
talk?
kind of put padlock in our mouth. And he can take innocent virgin, kill them, take their private part and put it in his wallet, bring padlock and put it in Liberian people mouth. Since
And
he the
like I
one
said,
get people mouth, they shouldn't talk.
because Mr. Cummings,
Yo.
because place this moratorium on people, like his supporters, he said, "Oh, do not go after all political leaders." And I know the reason why he did that, because
Mm-hmm.
here, I mean, take for example, as a Vatuka road up, the whole coming responsible that Cummings knew about the poll. Martin Kohler was claiming his salary after he resigned. He still Cummings supposed to know. Cummings surround himself with bad people. So Cummings say, okay, when the people come and curse me, you'll forget, but you might not go after them because anything they will say, oh, Cummings has said people to can't curse us. Again, as the small child, the small child conking the people, hey, hold it, cool. Nobody can talk about that. The big brother conking his small, he holler. They say, oh, you're not supposed to do that, you big brother. But the big brother not get feeling. So Cummings explain the big brother rule. But I think as time goes by, things will fall into place. And when the dust settle, let me tell you, the dust is still in the air. The dust is still in the air, but the dust will settle. And when the dust settle, then we'll know who is who and we'll know where who will fall. But one thing I know, I'm getting to know, I don't know for sure, but I'm sensing is that GMB, GMB is going nowhere. GMB will not be in the race. Now the United Party people, they are confronted with a dilemma of finding somebody who they can push.
Hmm.
And the funny thing about that is that all the young folks, energetic folks, they're all weak. They are of no substance. So none of them
Mm-hmm.
can pull off finger like George Lobo, no substance. You got, I don't
You
know who
saw
else.
you saw the man. you just brought about something just now. Josh Lobo on his show, his title, he said, "Criminal Alexander Cummings." Could you see how disrespectful and low a man like Josh Lobo can go? That's just speak volume of him. How can you, as a young guy who people respect and some people see you as a role model, model, and then you bring yourself low to insult, a man of high reputation? What kind of example are you showing to the younger ones out there
Well,
that is okay to disrespect?
again, the Liberian people will be the judge. Let me tell you one thing: the people are not stupid. The Liberian people are beginning to watch, and
We
all
need
this.
to play that here video. We need to play that here video where he was telling he was telling JMB what to say. So desperate and disgraceful. You can see the desperacy in those corrupt, I call them corrupt UP
Yeah, but
boys.
the thing is simple. Wait, let me give you. We'll soon be closing. Our time is up. But let me just give you one scenario.
Mm-hmm.
12 years, Unity Party were there. According to JMB himself, they squandered opportunities. There were
Mm-hmm.
massive corruption because the money that Ellen received, Georgia had not even received a quarter of it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing good happened. They siphoned all the money. People stole all
Yeah.
the money. All the
Mm-hmm.
concessions that came, GMP presided over, all were wrong,
Yeah.
ugly, bad for the country. Okay, now then people say, okay, the 12 years will just survive. When new government comes, that new government will be able to prosecute these people. Then
Yeah.
Mr. Weah did absolutely nothing. But
Nothing.
start to
He is
steal
the
more.
worst. He
Start to
stole
steal more.
more.
So then the United Party guys, they say, oh, so they think yeah, the high can be,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
No
I
accountability. So we
mean,
coming back
I'm trying to look
to
at it.
do
All the big
worse.
guys,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all of the big guys that were in the Unity Party government in the past. You see any of them out now? No. No boss going, they're relaxing. So the
Hmm.
new breed, like the likes of George Lobo and they want to call some of
Mo
them
Ali.
Vanisaki,
Mo
the
Ali.
yeah, Mo Ali there.
But
Those boys were there, they will
Vanisaki,
see.
Vanisaki is a sedition. He's a sedition who Joe did not give him job, and now
Yeah,
he's,
but he has
yeah.
seen the hole. He has seen the loophole in United Party that when they go there, they'll get money.
Yeah.
So that's why they're
Mm-hmm.
pushing the old man. You think the stupid to push the old man because they know that when the old man get popularity in the party now, the party hanging on the old
Mm-hmm.
man. So by the time if let one of them put their hand on, nobody will vote for them. So that the old man they try to use. When the old man gets there, then they'll be under the old man. The same way George Lowe
Mm-hmm.
was telling the old man what to say, that will be doing.
Yeah.
Papi, say so. Papi, yeah. So but JMB is not reading between the line.
It's too
JMB, he paid a
shameful.
record. He paid a record, but because of desperation, he will spoil his record before he died. And if I were him, I'll be smart.
Yeah,
But
he just allow these boys to play with his good record that
record.
he has.
Yeah, but because he's
That
desperate, this is where the word desperation come in. Then they look at coming, they say coming is desperate. But because he's desperate to be president, so he will do anything, whether he
he
lost
could
it,
just sit
whether
down and retire and be like a godfather for
yeah,
Liberia,
whether he
where
will, he
people
will
come
lose
to
his
you
respect,
for the advice.
whether he will kill his good reputation that he had created, he doesn't care, but he should be president. That's why I posted it last time that
And
nobody taking the presidency to
he
the
will
grave.
not be so yeah.
Nobody taking the presidency to the grave. The presidency not going to
Mm-mm.
the grave. No
No
way.
way.
No way. But Andre, it was
President,
I see you. I see you've been working very hard today, and
I'm
even
telling
talking is a very difficult job. So you've been working very hard today, and I hope you will continue to push the
oh
advocacy
yeah, we have
for
started
better
it.
Liberia,
We
and you
started we
continue.
our own judge, we are back. On their back leg, why rest on oil.
And we hope
Oil
that
back.
we hope that there will be good government in Liberia, and
The
that
baby
all
that
things
say the man will not sleep, the
the
baby too
division
will
will not
not
sleep.
sleep. No sleeping.
Mm.
You say you will not leave our girls and mothers alone. You continue to molest them, continue to abuse them, continue to allow this harmful practice to continue, then you be my guest. and let's take a ride.
Okay.
This is gonna
So
be a real good ride.
on this challenge from Antric, we'd like to say thanks for watching. For those of you who have spent time with us, next time, please share the video to your friends on your own page and pass the word. We're coming back here Friday. We
Yeah.
stay putting time in between. We're not coming on every day. We're putting time in between so that our folks will get adjusted to our platform and we
Yeah.
all build it together. You can follow us always on Facebook and on YouTube. Our Facebook handle is the bottom line, and you can find us there. We got 3 of them. So any of them you can add us. We approve you, and you become part of the platform here. And we appreciate the time that you spend with us because it's not easy to sit here for 2 hours and you are there for 2 hours listening. You must be strong, and we appreciate you for that. So, Andre, you got any final word for our viewers?
Thanks to our very loyal viewers that always joining us. And yeah, it's a goodbye from my end and good night.
Okay. Good night, and this is how we
Thank
like
you
to
so
leave.
much, Linford.
Yeah, and this is how we like to leave you with Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings.
My name is Alexander Cummings, and I want to work with honest men and women to change Liberia for the better. I want to open the doors of governance to all capable persons. I want to use the collective brain power of all of our men and women. I want to build a nation of self-sufficiency. I want to build an environment that thrives on and promotes a vibrant Liberian private sector. I want to ensure that we are a nation where education is key in all of our national development priorities. I want to create and nurture a development agenda that ensures our young people have jobs when they graduate from school. I want to create an environment where our women have access to equal opportunities in every aspect of our society. I want to promote a system that uses our country's natural resources for the benefit of all. I want to see our country flourish beyond our wildest imagination. We are capable of doing it if we work together. We may not all agree all of the time, but we can set aside our differences and work towards charting a new course without the infighting, backbiting, and backstabbing. Whether you're a member of the ANC, ALP, LP, or UP, we must channel our support for individual candidates into championing our collective objective, defeating the We administration in the 2023 presidential and legislative elections, and ushering in a governance more prepared, more capable, more experienced, more skilled, and more honest men and women. With your help, we can move Liberia to being a better country. I thank you. God bless you and God bless Liberia.
This is Bottom Line Liberia.